Does this tune ring a bell? A tune that many attribute wrongly to all kinds of musical masters such as Ravi Shankar and Vishnu Govind Jog. Do you know this brainchild had a connection with Albert Einstein and Franz Kafka? Strangely, it also has a connection with Hitler and its Nazi army. How many of you knew that the man behind this iconic jingle is not an Indian? Today, All India Radio reaches out to 99.18% of the population through 262 broadcasting centers across the country. All India Radio, as we know it today, started broadcasting the programs by the Radio Club of Bombay in 1923. For an entire generation, the radio and the All India Radio hold a much cherished place, especially the signature tune, a tune composed on the resonating tambura, viola and violin accord in the room. And the Indian day had started. While millions are familiar with the signature tune that would play at the crack of dawn, few are aware of its origins, that it was created by the most improbable source, a Jewish refugee fleeing the Nazis in Europe. His name is Walter Kaufmann. A Czech national, Walter was born in 1907 in Karlsbad, today known as Karlovy Vary. His father Julius Kaufmann was Jewish while his mother had converted to Judaism after marriage. By the age of 24, his compositions were being played in various orchestras. Later, he worked for many radio stations in Berlin and Prague. But Walter knew he had to leave his hometown, for he feared that it would be no longer safe for Jews. His father died near the Czech border as they fled Karlsbad under the Nazis. The Nazis were establishing their power and Walter's friend was killed in Berlin. They shockingly realized they were no longer safe in Prague. At the age of 27, Walter Kaufmann decided to leave Europe. Unlike others who went to all kinds of usual places, Walter chose India on an impulse and arrived in Bombay, which has to be his home for the next 12 years. One may wonder why he landed in Mumbai of all places in the world. In one of the letters that was later established, he even said that it was because of the ease of getting a visa that he chose Mumbai. The initial years in Mumbai were not easy for Walter. As a trained musician, he was hoping to find takers for his talent, but his initial tryst with Indian music was not pleasant. He found it alien and incomprehensible. From 1936 to 1946, Walter worked at the All India Radio as the director of the music. It was here that he composed the iconic signature tune with noted Indian orchestra conductor Mehli Mehta, who played violin for it. Walter Kaufmann did compose the AIR signature, but not as a signature tune. In fact, it was an extract from a sonata commissioned by Mehli Mehta. Based on Rag Shivaranjani, the tune is composed using tambura, viola and violin. Walter arrived in Mumbai at a time when there was a shift from silent movies. His mastery over Western music helped in the Indian film industry as well. He composed the background score for several films by Mohan Bhavnani, a friend he had met in Berlin. His close friends include Albert Einstein, Willy Haas, Franz Kafka and so many others. They maintained a huge rapport. Einstein even wrote a recommendation letter for Walter Kaufmann. In that letter in German, he wrote, "Mr. Walter Kaufmann of Prague, currently in Bombay, has been known to me for years as an inventive and gifted musician." Kaufmann left India in 1946, a year before India's independence. He spent some years in England and Canada before moving to the US in 1957. He joined the School of Music faculty at Indiana University in Bloomington, where he continued to write extensively about Indian music. Walter's flight to India saved his life, and for that he paid back with his writing and music at a time when nobody else had popularized Indian music overseas. Kaufmann's signature tune marked the beginning of a typical Indian day for 84 years since its origin. This tune is going to stay here for many years to come. In just 10 years of his service at the AIR, he gave something that made him and his work eternal on the pages of Indian history. Did he ever get to know that this music had become the soul of a rich culture? Nobody knows. Unfortunately, Kaufmann died in 1984 without realizing how legendary he had become in a country where he was a refugee.